What's up, everybody? We're back with another reseller podcast on the ThrifterSifter channel, and I'm here with
Alyssa from The.Flip.Chicks. What's up, guys?
and today we got on Jason Hayes, very successful reseller, really good friend of mine. This is definitely one of those must-watch podcasts. It's going to be a really good one. We're also going to give a shout out to our sponsor, Vendoo, for sponsoring this podcast. I know you've been using Vendoo for a little while, right?
Oh, yeah. I
How
love
are you
it.
liking it?
It's getting me in front of as many eyes as I can. And, you got to love that. You need that in this business. So go Vendoo.
Yeah, so instead of like manually listing on eBay, then going hopping on Facebook and then Mercari and trying to manually list all those, it just takes up a lot of time. And with Vendoo, you can really knock it out within a minute or two, on each platform. Really, I can do it in just a few seconds for each one. And they also have like Etsy, Poshmark. They just added Shopify. So if you want to try it out, there's a free trial link right down below for 5 free listings. And you can even get 25% off your first month if you want. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and bring Jason in because I'm excited to get him on here. And there he is.
What's going on?
What's up, buddy? How's your day been?
It's been really good, Matt. Thanks for asking. And thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on, having the time to come on. I know you're super busy. It seems like every day you're like on schedule, like just trying to make every minute count.
Yeah. As you know, it's a lot with reselling and creating videos and content and things like that. So yeah. It gets to be a lot, but it's all good.
Yeah.
How long have you been selling full time, and what got you into it?
Yeah. So good question. I've been selling. 2016 is when I started. I kind of flipped some things before that, but when I really kind of got into, I had a job at that time, and honestly, my wife and I, we were on an anniversary trip just outside Colorado. And we love going to some thrift stores. And so went in, found some pants, and I was like, I may buy these myself, but if I don't like them, I'll just sell them online. And I ended up selling them online, making like $20. And so that kind of set this idea that maybe I can do this and make a lot more money than just that one pair of pants. So yeah, I started going pretty hardcore with it from the very, very beginning. And had a couple really good sales at the beginning too that kind of hooked me too. So
yeah. So you were doing that while you were full-time working another job, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I had a job, and where we were living, our apartment was right by a Goodwill. And so I would come home 2 nights a week. I would just stop by the Goodwill, jump in, pick up some stuff. I'd list on the weekend or list after work, put in 10 hours over my work at my job. And did that for a year and a half until I finally got to the point where I built it up and was like, all right, I'm quitting my job and going full time. So
what did you do before this?
I was in mortgage. I was
oh, really?
Really?
Yeah. So I was a closer. I would prepare the documents for closing. And I liked it, but at the end I had started building my business up so much that I was just excited to quit and give this a fair go. So
yeah, for sure.
That's been, this April will be 4 years since I quit. So
oh wow. So oh wow. It has, I forget it's 2020.
I know, right? It's there are a couple of years in there we just gotta forget about.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, I know this is kind of off topic, but I guess advice for someone out there who's thinking about going full time, who's maybe part time right now or doing it on the side, who wants to go part time. How would you you have any advice for someone who's maybe thinking about doing that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a lot of people get kind of lured into this idea of I can be my own boss, which is why a lot of times why we want to do that. Right. I would say if you haven't given it at least a year to see the retail cycle, because right now everyone knows for the most part it's down. Some categories I guess are up, or just depending on what you're selling, but kind of see the cycle of the retail full year to see okay, here's what happens in the summer, here's what happens in Q4, and kind of get an idea on that. The advice that I got when I was considering when's the best time, and I built my business for a year and a half without taking any money out, and so we didn't need it at the time. I had a job.
Smart.
And so I just reinvested all the profits. And I would say as much as you can leave that money alone, Some people need it, and that's okay. But if you can reinvest it, that's going to be the fastest way to build your business.
Yeah.
You know, you buy one item, you sell it, you make $20, you buy 5 items with that, and then you just continue to, you know, cycle up, I guess. But
yeah.
Yeah, the advice I got, because like, how do you figure out when can I make it? And the advice, talking to a friend, he was like, I've heard that if you are making, like, if you're working 10 hours a week on this side hustle and you're making 25% of your salary at your job, then that's a good time to quit. I was about at that 50% range. I was a little more conservative, but yeah, I mean, everyone's going to be different. And,
Right. Yeah.
it just depends on, do you have someone else in your house that's bringing in money too? Are you the only one? Are you single? It just depends.
Yeah.
So,
where you live, do you have enough?
yeah, where is it
options around you?
expensive? Are you paying $3,000 a month for rent? Or,
You know, I built up, like, I think when I went full time, I didn't even have as many things listed as I do now. I think I had maybe 300 items listed, but I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm seeing consistent sales, and I had like about 5,000 set aside just for like for buying stuff to resell, you know, stuff like that. So it's like, and just emergency money. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and take the plunge, because I felt like I was at that point where I was like, okay, I'm making enough money to survive with this business. And that's kind of when I decided to go full time, you know?
yeah, it's, that's crazy that you had 300 items. I think when I quit my job, I had like 700 or 800 items in inventory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I greatly picked up after that, because I started the booth, and then within no time I was up to, now for a while I got to like 750 items, but after the holidays I went down to 650, and I've like been struggling to get up.
I know the struggle, dude. It's hard. It's after
Yeah.
Q4, you sell a bunch of stuff off.
Yeah, with the booth too. Anyways, you want to, Alyssa, you want to ask the next question? I know I kind of threw another question in there.
All right. You've been a successful reseller for a long time. What is some knowledge you recently discovered that you feel everyone should know about?
Kind of a tough question.
I mean, not to like be repetitive, but what you guys were talking about earlier, Vendoo, huge thing. Like, I was on eBay for so long, and just kind of had this idea of like, I know eBay, I'm just going to keep churning it out over there. But cross-posting to all those different sites and making sales. I think if I had just been on eBay, I started last May, so almost a year now. And I think if I had been on eBay for, you know, without going into 5 other sites that I'm on, I think it would have been a rough year for me, honestly, because it's brought in a lot of sales. And eBay's kind of been weird this last year or two. Without having like 5 other platforms bringing in sales, I think it would have been a lot harder. But having that has helped absorb some of the, you know, if one platform doesn't do well, you've got 4 or 5 others you can kind of bank on. So, yeah, I won't talk about that a lot because you guys kind of already hit it. But Vendoo has been,
we're going to talk about that too, kind of, I guess, a little later on. But yeah, I know a lot of people that are like stuck on eBay and they want to stick with that, and they're really like, you know, trying to build that up. But yeah, go ahead. You just started.
They're just diehard eBay fans. You know, for us, it was hard to make a change. I mean, even we were a little resistant because it felt like, okay, well, if I add another thing that I have to take care of, you know, it's going to feel like more work. And, you know, instead I could focus all my efforts on, at the time, it was just Mercari, and just focus on that until we can make it big. And then we'll think about other platforms. But honestly, it has been the easiest transition, and it has helped us so much. So.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more on that. Yeah. And it's, you know, whether it's cross-posting or just anything in general, a lot of times we build up these new things. Like, change is hard for me. And so I build up these new avenues as like, man, this is going to be really hard to get over this obstacle to learn this new thing. And then I've realized lately with a lot of things, it's like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Like, so it's helped me embrace more change in the future, whether that's doing different things with content or just different things in the business. So
yeah, if you want to get anywhere in life, you're always going to learn new things. I'm trying to learn Final Cut Pro right now. If you know about that, it's like a editing software. And it's like, that's like really hard. So I'm about to be like, struggling, but yeah, Vendoo is pretty easy.
It's funny you say that, because this weekend I was just looking up Final Cut Pro because I've been using iMovie, and I was like, is it time to make the plunge and dip into Final Cut Pro? But yeah, so I didn't get a lot into it, but I was watching some YouTube tutorials and just trying to get an idea of what it looks like before I pay the big chunk of money to get it.
There's a free trial you can download. I just downloaded it. So I'm going to play around with it first. I got a Mac just so I could get that because I just know such good things about it. And I started playing around with iMovie, and I was like, I'm not about to sit here and try to learn iMovie when Final Cut Pro looks exactly the same, but just more complex. I'd rather just spend my time learning that, So we'll see. But anyways, I'm going to jump into the next question. One thing I get asked a lot, and I'm sure you get asked this a lot, is how do you come up with shipping costs? Do you have any advice that may help somebody with that?
Yeah, it seems like that's like the number one question for resellers, especially new resellers. Like, I'm so terrified by the idea of shipping, or that I'm going to get burned on. I charge a flat fee, and obviously there are a few different ways to do it. That's just the way I do it. I sell a lot of the same items. So for those that may not know me, I sell primarily clothing, like 95%. So most of my items are going to be shirts. They're going to be under a pound, or they're going to be consistent. I'm going to have like a couple of different weights, like usually under a pound and 1 to 2 pounds are going to be my most frequently sold items. So what I do is if it's like an item under a pound and it's a shirt, I'm just going to charge $6. That's how I do it. But I would say like that doesn't really help those people who are new trying to figure this out. I mean, honestly, I would just suggest like calculated shipping. Do calculated shipping for a while. You kind of get an idea of like, okay, this weight goes for this much, and then
calculated that's like on the platform already, basically.
Yeah. So after you've and I'm assuming that obviously eBay, I know other sites have different ways to ship, but figure out calculated shipping for a while, see what you're paying.
I don't know if you can hear the echo on your microphone.
Is this echoing?
I don't know if you're rubbing against it or maybe.
That could be it. I'll back up a little bit.
You're getting too close to it. It's like, wow. Anyways.
It could also be this jacket too. It's kind of noisy. Yeah. So, figure out calculated shipping, kind of take a mental note of what items are shipping for a certain amount. And then if you want to switch to flat, I mean, you don't have to, but that's what I do. And then most of the time I'm not losing money, but occasionally I don't charge enough, and it's like, oh, I should have charged more for that.
It all adds up. It all goes up and down. And there's also pirate ship. I mean, I do kind of like what you're doing. I do like calculator for most things, like under a pound, just because it's easy for me. Because I ship a lot of stuff too that's like 3 ounces or 4, like small items, really small and up. And then anything like, it depends. Some things 1 to 2 pounds, I just know the price now. It's like the more you do it, the more you're just going to know what your prices are. But then,
exactly.
Pirate ship is definitely a good one too, I think.
That's one thing. And even going back to that last question that Alyssa asked, something I've learned for so long, I only did international shipping through the global shipping program. And then I started adding that pirate ship simple export rate. And for a long time, I wouldn't do it because I just thought it was going to be really intimidating. And then realized it's pretty easy. I mean, it's just a couple little things and then printing out a label. And so, that's another way to like
international for like half the price almost too.
Yeah, and you get more viewers and buyers on looking at your items. And a lot of times I've noticed the international buyers will just pay full price because they can't get that item. They just want it, and so they're like, I'll just grab it. So
right, yeah. Well,
I mean, shipping is something that it's just intimidating for a lot of people, and it's just one of those things where you make some mistakes, you lose some money here and there, and then you start to figure it out. So
right, yeah. What do you think, Alyssa?
I mean, I think for us, we sell a lot of purses. So I mean, we got to know that like if we go under, most platforms are going to charge you for what you missed out weight wise. So we really try to tune in on what the weight is of every single item, just so we're not missing out. Or we round, and I don't like doing that as much, but yeah.
Sometimes. I got a question for you, Alyssa, regarding Mercari. Somebody told me I don't know that whenever you're putting the dimensions in the package, that they don't put the dimensions in on Mercari, and it comes out.
No, you don't. You just need the weight.
It comes out cheaper shipping. Yeah, if you put the dimensions in there, it comes out. Because on Vendoo, if you put in the dimensions, it comes out like a higher rate than what it would. I don't know. It's weird. But then I just do a flat rate for Mercari through Pirate Ship. That's how I do mine. But I think it's different.
So you're not. So you're doing your own shipping on Mercari, or?
Yeah, I do my own shipping on Mercari most of the times.
Okay.
I usually do the pre-calculated 5 pound because it's like 3 to 5 pounds is like the same amount. So I like round up to 5 and pre-calculate it. I think that's good for somebody starting off.
Mm-hmm.
And I think,
yeah.
With us being on Vendoo, it's just such an easy option. It's already on there.
Yeah. And that way, you're not going to lose money on it. You're not going to be like way or over the weight.
Yeah. Plus it has insurance, and then they can like return it back really easy. So, I mean, I believe in using, what the platform gives you.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about Mercari. It's like anything that's under a pound, I use the option on there, but anything that's like over a pound, like I think it's 1 to 3 pounds or something like that, or like over 1 and under 3, I have to do the flat rate and then do free shipping on Mercari because the prepaid on Mercari is always higher than what it is on Pirate Ship. But then
that's exactly what I do.
Yeah, and then anything over, like I think it's 3 pounds or something like that. I can't remember. Anything over that, then I just pick the Mercari option because the calculated seems to be cheaper than Pirate Ship. So
yeah, exactly. If it's over a pound, I do the exact same way.
I don't like doing the free shipping on Mercari, really. I'd rather do plus shipping, but it just seems to work out that way. So anyways, let's go ahead and I got a little game that we came up with a couple of episodes ago. It's called Over or Under. And Alyssa, she doesn't know the answers either. So you can compete against Alyssa.
All right, let's do this.
And so I'm going to show you an item. And then I'm going to say a price, and you have to say whether it's sold for over that or under that. And these are pretty like average prices, what these are selling for. So first up, we have a Disney Mary Poppins Feed the Birds Cathedral Snow Globe. This is something I would probably walk right past in a thrift store and not give it any attention. Over or under $800?
800. Oh my gosh, I thought he was about to say like 3.
It looks like.
Okay, he said a crazy number. I'm gonna go over.
You're gonna go over?
Yeah.
I can't believe over 800. I gotta go under on that.
Okay.
You're gonna go under?
And I may be wrong, but we'll see.
Final answers?
Are these your sales, Matt?
No.
Oh,
These are. So what I've done is I've just found like bolos pretty much on eBay, and then I double check on WorthPoint to look at like average sold history to know like what this stuff's really selling for, to make sure this is like legit paid for and everything. So this one was over $1,475. Definitely something I would walk past in a thrift store or garage sale. I don't know about you guys. I wouldn't
go Mary Poppins.
Just looking at it doesn't look like much, I guess, to me. So always turn stuff over and look at the bottom because you never know.
Never
know.
That's wild.
Up next, we have a Hero Quest 1990 Milton Bradley board game. This is complete, just pre-owned, used condition. Over or under $250?
I'm gonna go under on that.
I'm gonna go under.
I'll go over.
Go over?
Yeah.
Finals.
Yep.
It's under.
Yeah.
I'm getting killed.
And it's that's about an average price what they sell for. I mean, they may go up to, if that's an auction, that I'd buy it now, maybe 150 or something. Depends on the condition. You may could get more than that, but even if you find this game and it's not complete, you can sell everything for parts. And
I mean, that's still a great price, so keep a lookout.
Yep. So we got Alyssa's in the lead. All right, the next one, I looked up how to say this word, and every single YouTube video pronunciation thing that came up all says something different. So I don't know. Maybe you guys know. I don't know how to say that first word. This is a Walt Disney World Cinderella Castle miniature building. I don't know the size of this, but it looks like it's pretty small. I guess it's on top of a box. Over or under $800?
I'm gonna go over on this.
I think over as well, because I mean, I've been to Disneyland. Those like in the glass like things. I mean, they're expensive. I mean, that looks nice. Okay, so we're both going
over. Okay, final.
Yes.
It's only $25. I'm just kidding. $1,000.
Okay, after I talked all this mess.
All right.
I gotta start looking in new categories. Is what I'm learning from this game we're playing.
I like this because I'm learning a lot looking all this stuff up for one, and then it's also like it just makes you realize, man, you really got to like keep your eyes open.
There's money everywhere to be made.
Yeah.
The only thing with stuff like this is you really got to check it well, because sometimes something may be broken off, and it may be really hard to ship something like this. I mean, imagine trying to wrap that up so it doesn't.
Oh man, yeah, that's a hazard. That's like you're asking for one of those little top points to break off.
Okay.
Yeah, you may also want to do a local pickup or something. I don't know, but maybe it take forever to sell. All right, let's see what we got next. This is for parts not working. 2005 cotton candy Furby. For parts not working. $300 over or under?
I'm gonna go under on this. I think it's still worth some money, but
yeah, under.
I'm like cotton candy. Maybe it's worth something.
Yeah, it's kind of intriguing.
Okay, I'm gonna go over.
You're gonna go over. All right, is it final?
We're doing
final.
Jason got you on that one. Nice job, Jason. I want to say these working. I can't remember the exact price. Maybe $300 or something like that. But yeah, Furbies. I haven't come across a Furby.
I was like, maybe there's something crazy about cotton candy. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Crazy story about these Furbies. I actually sold one that wasn't working. I thought it was working. It got returned to me. There's a little hack that you can do. You can look it up on Google or YouTube, and you can like peel the skin back and like reset the
skin
or something.
Sounds creepy.
It sounds creepy, but you can. I actually did that. I reset it and it started working, and I could sell it again.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's good for newbies to know.
Yeah,
you can get it working.
Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think some people probably buy stuff and fix it and resell it, but you really got to know what you're doing with those items. All right, let's see. I'm sure I got that one. So Alyssa's in the lead 3. Jason, you're at 2, and we got 2 left.
I'm feeling good in this next round.
All right, next one is Pink Pyrex Gooseberry Cinderella nesting bowls. These are in good condition. This is kind of based off average. $550 over or under?
I'm going to go under on that.
I'm going to go under? What about you, Alyssa?
Yeah, I think I also want to go under on that.
We did a Pyrex on a couple episodes before this.
Yeah.
You go under?
Yeah, under as well. All
right, you got it right. $255. We had a Pyrex a couple episodes ago. It was like $5,000. So I was trying to see if I could trick Alyssa to go over.
Wow.
Sorry. But yeah, you may could sell this one upwards of like $350. But what did I say on that? Yeah, you may get sell that.
Good returns if you find it for the right price.
Yeah. I mean, it is on auction, but it's a lot easier to find these when I'm looking for stuff at auction anyways. But I see y'all both got that right. So Jason, if you get the next one and Alyssa gets it wrong, then y'all tie up. The next one is this Texas Instruments Exactra 20 calculator. I think that maybe this calculator was on the set of maybe a Star Wars movie or something. Not the exact one from the Star Wars movie, but maybe it's like a look-alike, or maybe the same one that was used on the movie. So I guess people will maybe look for these or something, like collectors or something. But anyways, over or under $450?
The fact that you said Star Wars makes me think that's got to be way over that 450.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. But I'm like, but is he trying to throw us off? How much did you say? 450?
Over or under 450, yeah.
I think I'm going to go over too. I mean, maybe it's like some crazy collector's piece.
Both of you are over?
Yeah.
Well, I guess Alyssa would win either way then.
I didn't do that on purpose. I just actually think.
Right. Well, it's okay because y'all both got it wrong.
Oh, man.
So these were selling for around 220 to 280 range. I think the calculator itself, there's a lot of vintage calculators out there. They're actually worth a lot of money. I think it's just the calculator itself, but there were a few that were like Star Wars lightsaber or something like that. So maybe it said on set, or like, like maybe like look alike to the one that's on set. So anyways, Alyssa, you got 5 out of 6 right.
Dang, I should go gamble.
Well, I'm sorry. No, you got that one wrong. You got 4 out of 6. So 4-3. That's it for that game. What do you think about that, Jason?
It's a fun game. I like that. It kind of gives me some things to be looking for now.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's something we're going to try to do each show, because it definitely helps me be able to know what to look out for looking at all these things, and then other people too as well. You never know. You may.
It's fun to compete a little bit, test your knowledge. See
oh yeah, definitely.
Who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of items that we're looking at and not looking at anymore, what are a few items you no longer pick up to resell?
Man, this is something that I'm like constantly refining. Like every year, it seems like I'm done with that brand or that style. Things I used to pick up would be like athletic polos with like sports teams on them. Trying to think, and even shoes like Cole Haan dress shoes. I think I don't know if they'll come back or not. I mean, especially some of the older styles, just horrible right now on eBay or other sites. So yeah, I think with people working from home with COVID and stuff, it's just been a nightmare for like dress shoes and dress attire. So that's one thing that I've kind of been trying to sell off. What'd you say?
Cole Haan, don't they make other shoes too though?
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still pick up Cole Haans if they're like a really newer style, but I've got a lot of dress shoes just sitting, and they have been for a while. So
all right,
yeah, like those athletic polos, man, that's like what I picked up and stocked up on when I first started, and now it's like $15 to $20, which for me isn't enough margin, so I just leave them behind.
Yeah. What kind of brands are like athletic polos?
Man, like the Nike polos, the Nike golf polos, or a lot of those Under Armour, they're everywhere. Like you can even get brand new for like $20, $25. So you can't compete with that when it comes to selling a used item.
Even cross posting it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd say that my other category that I'm now trying to like be really particular with are dishes, like mugs. I got really excited about mugs and plates and stuff, and you can definitely make money on like plate sets, but they sit for a while. So
yeah,
some
of the margins can be slim too and stuff, unless you find some really good ones. But
yeah, I've found some really good. Like I had a plate set that went for like 8 plates for like $125, but that's not normal. And again, you may have to wait a while to get that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I actually sell a pretty good bit of mugs like in my booth, and it's a lot of stuff that I just don't put on eBay. It just looks cool, I think, or just has a neat little design on it, that I think could be worth, something. I don't sell them for a lot of money. I'll sell them for like $6 or so. Some I'll sell for a little bit more, like those Odigary mugs. I sold 2 this week, one for $12, one for $9, and I find those all the time for like 50 cents or $1.
What are they?
Odigary. It's called Odigary. They're handmade and made in Japan, or handmade and painted in handmade and painted in Japan, basically. And they're really popular. They're all kinds of different stuff. I've done some videos on them before, but they look like stoneware kind of, or they'll have like specks on the outside and the inside, and they'll have like a flower or bird or all kinds of different designs on there. And they usually have like a brown paintbrush like across the top and then down the handle. And sometimes they'll say Otagari in the bottom, and sometimes they won't. But they always sell for like $10 or so. So I'm always looking out for those. But all right. So speaking of that, what are some of your best-selling bread and butter items?
Best selling, I would say lately it's been, well, you said bread and butter. Flannels for me, like, and obviously this is more of a seasonal item, but
yeah,
that's kind of like, I love finding like a good LL Bean flannel. You find a vintage LL Bean, or even Eddie Bauer is a brand I don't typically pick up, but if I find a good flannel, that'll go for pretty decent money. Or like Orvis, or just some of these like outdoor casual brands. I'm trying to think what else.
I did a video the other day about how I don't mess with Eddie Bauer unless it's vintage or like special pieces. But like the newer stuff, are you picking up like newer button down Eddie
Only
Bauer?
Flannels.
That's what I'm saying.
And vintage, like you said, but there's not enough money in it. At least not for my strategy. Some people may, be successful with it.
If you're buying like $1 a piece at a garage sale and they're all extra large and you make one big bundle of them, it may be worth it. But for me, I'm not even like, I don't even want to mess with that. I'd rather
buck it, it's worth it margin wise, but then you may be sitting on it for a while.
Yeah.
So
any other items? Jeans? What about jeans?
Let's see. Good selling.
I know you pick up corduroy pants and stuff like that.
Corduroy pants, and don't think I didn't notice that corduroy hat you've got. I've sold a few of those. That that vintage corduroy. Sorry, I think I bumped the mic. That vintage corduroy hat. I've sold like a couple of those. Yeah, hats. It's not really like vintage hats have done well, but sometimes can sit around for a while. But it's kind of ridiculous. I had like an old Arkansas Razorback, shout out to the Hogs over here, hat that my dad had in his closet. It was like, Dad, you want me to sell this for you? Like, I thought I could get 30 or 40, and it went for $79 plus shipping. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of crazy, some of the things that people will sell. So vintage has become like a new thing. I mean, obviously it's been around for a while that people like buying vintage, but just now selling on Depop and trying to focus more on finding those items. It's kind of crazy to me. So, yeah.
Do you pick up any Levi jeans or anything like that?
No, I know Chris does a lot, but I don't. I mean,
I do well with them, but I try not to get too crazy. I picked up some Wrangler retro jeans not too long ago. I don't know if you ever seen those. And they sold.
I picked up a couple.
They sold super fast, but.
What are you? I must be pricing too high because I'm still sitting on them. But are you like $20 plus shipping?
I think I am like 22 plus shipping, something like that. And I sold them both within like a week. They were really nice condition too. But I really don't like to mess with much jeans like for $20 just because there's so many measurements and everything. I guess it's just, I mean, unless I'm finding them at a garage sale for like $1 a piece, or something like that, or even like $2 a piece. But it's not bad, but I prefer to sell like, the Rock Revivals and Miss Me's and stuff like that because I feel like I can get closer to 30 plus range for those, and the time listing them and everything, it seems more rewarding.
You guys are bringing up a lot of numbers. I was actually curious, what is the return you're looking for on every item typically?
Yeah, great question.
Good question.
I would say, like across the board, I want to average at a very minimum of like, are you talking like sales price or profit?
Maybe are you trying to triple, or I mean, what is your strategy? Everyone does it a little different.
I guess profit margin.
Yeah, so profit margin. I mean, I'm trying to minimum of like $12.50 and up. And I've been slowly trying to push that up. When I started, I was at like $9, $10.
When I started, I was at like $1.
Oh, really?
Get back on
it. Yeah, so I've been pretty consistent at averaging like 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there. And I obviously would like to just keep pushing it up if I can, but it gets harder as you get higher. Yeah, I mean, I would love to average as far as like a sales price, like $30 and up. And that includes shipping for me. So I charge shipping, but yeah, so that's kind of like where I'm am. If I sell something for 30, including shipping, and I bought it for on average $4 or $5, I'm going to make $18 profit, 19 somewhere in there.
Yeah.
That actually leads me into my next question. How do you feel that Vendoo has helped your sales? I know you're looking for that mark, but Vendoo itself, how much has it pushed you up?
Man, I mean, it's hard to say. So I started again, I think I said this earlier, but May of last year. And in the first 6 months, I had like $25,000 of sales on other platforms that weren't eBay. And then since then, I don't know what the number is now, but yeah, I mean, it's been huge. And obviously some of that stuff would have sold on eBay eventually, but it would have taken longer. And, with like sites like Poshmark, I don't know if you guys do this too. I'll raise my price on Vendoo, on Poshmark a little bit. One, because their fees are higher, but two, I feel like fees are, the 20% is kind of rough, but I feel like, most people see it as like a premium. You're getting premium brands, so they're going to pay a little more.
Price a little bit more for the items.
So I'll price it higher on Poshmark than I will all the other sites. So, I mean.
Yeah, we do that for Tradesy, typically.
Oh, you're on Tradesy. I've never done that.
Yeah, we do a lot of designer bags just because the return, we're two people now, my mom and I running this business. We have to think about, 2 people's return on investment needs to be, quite a bit.
Yeah.
So purses are great for that.
Yeah, they're buying
I imagine
they're buying like high-end. They're buying like high-end bags on Mercari and stuff that people are selling too cheap, and then they're taking them in and flipping them for like a few $100 more and stuff. So,
I mean, that's amazing.
I'm doing it, yeah. Before I forget, since Vendoo sponsored this podcast, I know you're a sponsor of Vendoo as well. So I don't know if you got any free subscription months or anything, but they're going to give you 3 months of subscription for free for coming on the podcast today. So just letting you know, yeah. So
sweet.
You'll get 3 additional ones. So we're coming on today. So if you already have some, then you do. I don't, but if you do, then hey, you got some extra. So
save some money.
Yeah,
it really does.
Let's see. I think I'm gonna put in another question here since we're kind of doing good on time because I really only have like one question left, but we're only at 40 minutes. But I guess I'll ask a question and then you can ask the other one, I guess. So what is your biggest flip?
Well, this is the one that everyone wants to know, right? It's like the question. Right. You post a video and someone's like, what's your biggest flip? I
hear that question a lot.
No, this is a good one. And with clothing, it's hard to get like a super large, well, I'm sure with handbags, you probably have some really large flips. But with like clothing items, that's hard to do to get those home runs. But the biggest one, so this brand Burberry, I've found maybe like, as far as the jackets go, I found 3 jackets. Those were my 3 biggest flips. I sold a men's. I paid $6 for it at Salvation Army, and it went for almost $500, including shipping. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe it. When you have something like that, you don't find a lot of comps, so it's like you're kind of guessing when you price, and you don't want to be too low, so you price higher.
And then wow, and you went 500. You were just like, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and
wow, bold.
Didn't you say someone bought it and then they canceled or something?
Dude, that's a good memory. Yeah, so someone made an offer for like, I'd been sitting on it for a few months because I bought it in the summer, and so wasn't the season. Someone made an offer for like $350, and I was like, I paid $6. That's fair, and I didn't want to lose it, so I accepted. They never paid. Then it went back when it got listed again, and then someone came on like within a week and bought it for full price, like $470 or something. I couldn't believe it. But I found 2 women's Burberry jackets for like $10 each and flipped those for like $250 each. So those 3 were like, $25, $30 invested and made, over $1,000 on those 3 items. I mean, it was just, I wish I could find those more often, but yeah.
And was it a zip up? Was it a coat?
It was, great question. It was like a trench coat. All of them were like wool trench coats,
coats.
like very heavy, flannel lined. I mean,
and the flannel line. Oh
yeah.
Have you picked up anything recently that you regret picking up?
Yeah, honestly, I've got a bunch of like.
He goes.
I should show you right now.
All right.
So I have a thrift store that the manager like messages me whenever she gets deals, and she gets quite a bit of like brand new stuff. And she's made me a lot of money. And so she showed me like these hats, and she was like, I'll sell them to you for $1 each, and they're new with tags. And so I bought like.
Show that one more time.
Sorry, I kind of showed that too fast, but they're all like Marine Air Force hats. I mean, they're pretty cool, and I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of people out there that want to buy these. So for $1, like $1 each, I can't go wrong. I bought 200, and I won't lose a lot of money. It'll probably take a while, but I've sold like 3 or 4, and honestly, I'm making like $2 profit on each one. So I'm like, I need to find someone else who wants to buy 50 of these and just offload them. But that's
maybe you should take like 50 of them and make a lot, and just price it what you pay it or more, and just have that set aside for while you're selling them, and then see if you get lucky or something.
I should just do like a video and be like, I've got a mystery hat box. We'll start the bids at $10 and just,
I bought a hat similar to that. It was used, but when you showed it to me, I was like, oh, because I remember I paid like $1 for it at a garage sale, but I think I sold it for like $6, and I was like, I didn't make hardly anything out of it. I just picked it up on a whim. Dude, and it was even like the little design on there was all like crooked, glued on one side too. Like it was really
crooked. Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many sellers. Like there's so many other people selling those brand new hats for $5 like for shipping. It's like, man, it's hard to compete with that. And even, I've even got it priced that low, but there's so many out there that it's just hard to get those sales. So I've made like 3 sales, and I've got 160 something hats sitting here. So
yeah. Before we get to the last question, I just wanted to mention that if anyone's still watching at this point and you made it this far in the podcast, Jason's definitely got a lot of very in-depth and educational videos on his YouTube channel. Definitely a lot of must-watch. Huh?
Not just hats.
Not just about hats. Actually, just really in-depth videos about shipping and the numbers and all that kind of stuff. Probably stuff on spreadsheets, I'm sure. I don't know if you have videos about that or not, but I know you have a lot of very in-depth videos for reselling. So definitely go check him out over there and subscribe, because he's always putting out really good videos on there. So
thanks so much, Matt. And I do have a spreadsheet video because I created a spreadsheet. So shameless plug. I've got a spreadsheet for sale right now.
Oh yeah. And you sell spreadsheets. I forgot about that. Give me the link and I'll put it down below. So if anyone wants to buy your spreadsheet, it'll be there available. Yeah, I may even buy one, because I think I even checked it out. It's very very detailed, very good.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. And you're also on TikTok. And then are you on Instagram or no?
I am on Instagram. Yeah. Instagram, Facebook.
Facebook, you got the reels on there as well.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
I was actually wondering, now that you work for yourself as a full-time reseller, how do you keep yourself motivated?
Yeah, that's some days harder than the others. Sometimes it's just like sheer will. I like there are those days you wake up, it's like a Friday and you're like, I don't want to list anything today, or you've been listing for 3 days straight and you're just like, I'm over this. And a lot of times it's just like, I don't feel like doing it. But once I get into the rhythm, then that like shifts, and I don't know how that works, but somehow I find the energy and I'm like, oh, okay, I can do this. That, and I've been trying to get better at like taking breaks and like really segmenting my time so that I don't burn out in a day or in a week. So work a couple hours, and then I don't do this successfully all the time. I'm still a work in progress, but tell myself, take 15 minutes, stop, go read, or just stop and do something else. Just don't look at the computer screen. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think having a death pile over here is what kills me. I'm just like, I don't, some people that doesn't motivate them, but me, I'm just like, I can't see all this stuff stacked up. Like, it's got to go away.
Yeah, I know how you
So
feel.
the death pile is a major motivation for me.
Guilt pile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, last year before garage sales started last year, I had absolutely no death pile. Like when I was doing thrifting and stuff, I had nothing. And then whenever the season started back up with garage sales, I was like, I'm going to buy so much stuff to hold me over all winter. And then whenever garage sales ended, I had like 400 plus items. I had a list. It was like just dreadful. And I've pretty much gotten through everything. Everything is pretty much like anything that's not listed now is stuff that I just can't get to now because I need to test, it just needs certain things done to it to be able to like sell it. So pretty much everything is done. But we're actually going to look at a house tomorrow. Hopefully it's something that will work for us because we are in a 2-bedroom apartment and we just need the space, and it's just
growing.
I've been there, dude. I know the struggle, and I'm sure that will be amazing when you guys, whether it's that house or another house, when you finally have that space to really grow and like put stuff and not just take up another room.
Right. Yep. Let me ask you this, and this is the main question. Probably know the question before I even ask it. The last question for a lot of podcast shows is, what is some advice that you would give to someone thinking about reselling, or maybe someone who's even been doing it for a little while? If you got some advice you'd like to share.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll start off with like those who are kind of been watching some videos. We like to say reseller curious. They're like, can you do this?
That should be a shirt.
Yeah, exactly. It's not my phrase. It's actually Chris's, so I'll have to give him props. But
there you go. Or do you even thrift, bro? Like that would be a good shirt.
That's awesome too.
Yeah,
we always mess with each other. It's kind of an inside joke.
Go ahead. Yeah, so for the person that's out there that's like, I haven't done this yet, but just been really inspired by people doing this, I would say, the easiest way to get into it is pretty much how most of us do it, is finding stuff around the house. We're like, not using this anymore. I'm not wearing it anymore. I'm going to sell it, and kind of learn how things work that way. Learn how you ship, learn how you list, how you take photos, just all the ins and outs of reselling. And if you make a mistake, it's okay, because it's an item that you didn't pay anything for, or at least maybe you did originally, but it's just sitting in your closet, and kind of the margin for error is a lot smaller. And so, so for that new person, and also there comes a point when you can watch too much content, you can watch too many things and not really know where to start, and just starting is key. And you learn best we all learn best when we just get in and do it. So for the person who's been doing it for a while, I would say stay hungry, and whether that's a reseller that's been selling for a year or 3 years, stay hungry and keep learning. There's a little bit of you kind of get into your groove, you find your niche, and you just kind of go for it in that, whatever that is, whatever category you're selling. You're like, okay, I've learned all this stuff, I've got all these brands, I'm good. And it's easy to just kind of put your head down and go. But at the same time, some of those things you're showing, in the game earlier, it's like, if you stay curious and you stay hungry, you're continuing to learn. It's amazing how many brands you just carry with you, or whether it's brands or items or just intricate things. And so, honestly, that's how you increase your profit, as you start to learn more expensive things, and then you leave the cheaper ones behind. And so I try and as best I can keep learning. And even though it's very easy to get in and be like, I can just breeze through this thrift store and come out with 30 items in 30 minutes. And but at the same time, it takes time to actually stop and look this item up and go, up, not worth it. And the next one is, so stay hungry.
Yep, I agree.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that I think they watch videos and they go out and they buy a bunch of stuff, and then they're like, oh wait, I gotta sell this stuff now. Then they get overwhelmed and they're like, oh, I just spent a whole bunch of money. So, definitely be careful, because I get messages sometimes and I get pictures of stuff people went out and bought, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you thinking? Why did you do that?
I did it, man. I followed your
now.
advice and I bought all this stuff, and you're like, that's not what I told you to buy.
Right.
You said.
Yeah. I think I heard this, there was someone recently at a thrift store that bought a bunch of golf clubs, and they were like old rusted clubs that weren't worth anything.
Did Chris tell you that?
They were so excited. And it was just like, oh, poor thing. They're going to learn the hard way that those aren't worth anything. But I mean, at least they got out and they did it, like,
yeah,
can't fault them for that. But
yeah, the person, Chris, was in line and someone was getting golf clubs in front of him. They're like, yeah, watch this guy resell golf clubs, and he goes to the thrift store and buys them and he sells them for a bunch of money. But he had like a bunch of like crappy brands in there.
Yeah.
Like, worth anything in bad condition. And he didn't know what he was doing. But like you said, it's a great way to learn. I mean, the best way to learn is to make mistakes and not just give up, to actually jump back in there and do it. And a lot of people ask me too, like, how do you sell on eBay? Like, what do I need to do to get started? Well, set up an account.
Start.
And yeah,
exactly.
Take some photos and follow the directions that are on the screen. It's pretty straightforward. So it all just comes down to starting, So
yeah. And I think one thing you do well, Matt, and I don't know, I haven't seen your stuff, Alyssa, but is like explaining what you're looking for. Like, it's easy just to spit out brands. And I think some people miss that sometimes. Like, they hear you hold up a shirt and call out a brand, and it's like, I'm going to buy all those shirts that have that brand. It's like, no, there's only the reason why he bought the shirt was because it's, vintage, or it's, it's a larger size, or whatever have you.
Yeah.
And so kind of learning the intricacies the nuances is a huge thing.
Yeah, I agree. Well, anything you want to ask us before you go?
Oh man. I mean, I guess I don't have any questions. I mean, I was curious when you guys asked me biggest flip, what your biggest flips were.
Mine's been a while. I don't even know if I told Alyssa about this. I found some kitchen equipment on Facebook Marketplace. This has been a while. It's kind of an aggravating thing, because it was like, I don't know. I sold it and had it returned, and then I sold it again, but I still made a lot of money on it. It's just a bad experience with FedEx. But I freight shipping, never freight ship used kitchen items. I learned a very valuable lesson. It cost me like $700. So just be careful whenever you're shipping anything freight to make sure that it's brand new, because insurance just doesn't cover used equipment like that. So you're taking a big gamble. But anyways, I bought this. I found this bread slicer on Facebook. This guy was closing a restaurant because of COVID, which I still have the bread slicer. It's like a bagel slicer, which you have to have like a bagel restaurant, a bagel shop that needs one. I need to relist it. It's just it's big and bulky and a pain. But anyways, when I was there, he had this other machine called a dough rounder, and I've never seen one before. And I was like, he was like, he bought it brand new. He only used it a couple times to test batches, and I could tell it was like brand new condition. And he was looking for like $1,500 for it. So I went and looked it up online, and I saw that they were like brand new, like over 10 grand. So I was like, surely pre-owned it's going to be worth still a good bit. It's only been used a couple times. So I was like, would you take $1,300? And at the time, like, I didn't have much money in my savings account. I probably had like 3 grand. I didn't have hardly any money. And I bought it, and then I sat on it for like 2 months. And I finally sold it. I sold it on eBay and freight shipped it out. It was just a big headache ordeal with the guy. And like a wheel broke off. It was just big headache. Sent it back. I fixed the wheel. I ended up selling it for $4,100 cash locally. So I paid $1,300, and then I was out a little bit for the shipping deal, but still I made like $2,100 profit. It was just so I paid a lot, but I made a lot of money. So in the end, it was like a good boost for whenever garage sales kicked in. It was like right before garage sales kicked in last year. So it was like, it just put a lot of money in my pocket pretty much for getting out. But
that's amazing.
Will I ever buy one again? Probably not, because it was like it's a very niche item. It's for like a pizza restaurant that has like a wood fire oven, and it's really hard to find a buyer. And I was so worried something's gonna like fall in my garage on it and damage it because I spent way too much on it. But yeah, I don't know if I'll ever mess with kitchen equipment again unless I really have like a way to hook it up and everything. It's just kind of, they can be a good thing, but they can also be a headache. So
yeah, I understand that.
You got to do like selling it locally and stuff. So what about you, Alyssa?
Well, the last time we had an interview, my mom gave what our actual biggest flip was. So I'm going to go a little bit lower and, share a new one just for fun. We sold a rare Disney Dooney and Burke Fantasia bag for, we bought it for, I believe, $100 for the little makeup purse and then $150 for the tote. We sold the whole set for $999. So yeah, grand.
Wow.
Yeah, fantastic. Anything Disney, that's our bag. I mean, seriously, we have a couple. I posted a new 50th anniversary Disney Dooney and Burke bag. That one we put up for like $500. So I mean, it's gonna be a good day. We're gonna have a good day.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Great flip.
Yeah. Super good flip.
Yeah. Good G bar.
Right. Well, Jason, I guess that closes things out. Thanks for coming on the show. It's good to have you on. You're welcome back anytime, of course. And I just want to give a shout out to Alyssa, the Flip.Chicks on Instagram. And I'm pretty much a little bit of everywhere. And make sure to go check out Jason on YouTube, subscribe, and
Facebook. Check out his Excel sheets because you need to get
spreadsheet. Yep. And then I also have the link down below for Vendoo. So if you guys want to try out Vendoo, there's a link. You can get 5 free listings, or you can use that same link. And there's a code already at checkout. You just press apply, and you can get 25% off your first month. So, well, Jason, thanks for coming on, and see you soon, buddy.
Thanks so much for having me on, and Alyssa, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, buddy. Good connection to make. I'm so happy we know each other through this reseller business. Now, everybody go follow him and me, of course.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye now.
We'll see you.
Bye.